सन गसीले सैन, दुहुन मैनन मन हारी की बनवारी नथवारी की। आरती प्रीतम प्यारी की बनवारी नथवारी की। दुहुन दृघ चितवनी परवारी, दुहुनी लट लटकनी छवि न्यारी, दुहुन भाव मटकनी अति प्यारी। रसन मुख पान हसन मुस्कान, दशन दमकान दुहुन बेसर छवि न्यारी की बनवारी नथवारी की। आरती प्रीतम प्यारी की बनवारी नथवारी की। एक उर पीतांबर फहरे, एक उर नीलांबर लहरे, दुहुन उर लरमोतिन छहरे। कंकनन खनक किंकिनी, झनक नूपुरन भनक, दुहुन रुन झुन धुनी प्यारी की बनवारी नथवारी की। आरती प्रीतम प्यारी की बनवारी नथवारी की। एक सिर मोर मुकुट राजे, एक सिर चुनरी छवि छाजे, दुहुन सिर तिरछे भल भ्राजे। संग ब्रज बाल लाडली लाल, बाह गल डाल कृपालु, दुहुन दृग चारी की बनवारी नथवारी की। आरती प्रीतम प्यारी की बनवारी नथवारी की। आरती प्रीतम प्यारी की बनवारी नथवारी की। श्री राम श्री राम श्री रामचंद्र कृपालु, भजो मन हरण भव भय दारुणम। नव कंज लोचन कंज मुख कर कंज पद कंजारुणम। श्री राम कंदर्प अगणित अमित छवि नव, नील नीरद सुंदरम। पट पीत मानहु तड़ित रुचि शुचि, नौमि जनक सुतावरम। पट पीत मानहु तड़ित रुचि शुचि, नौमि जनक सुतावरम। श्री राम भजु दीन बंधु दिनेश दानव, दैत्य वंश निकंदनम। रघुनंद आनंद कंद कौशल चंद दशरथ नंदनम रघुनंद आनंद कंद कौशल चंद दशरथ नंदनम श्री राम श्री राम। सिर मुकुट कुंडल तिलक चारु उदार अंग विभूषणम आजानुभुज शरचापधर संग्रामजित खरदूषणम आजानुभुज शरचापधर संग्रामजित खरदूषणम श्री राम श्री राम। इति वदति तुलसीदास शंकर शेषमुनि मन रंजनम मम हृदय कंज निवास कुरु कामादि खलदल गंजनम मम हृदय कंज निवास कुरु कामादि खलदल गंजनम श्री राम श्री राम। श्री रामचंद्र कृपालु भजो मन हरण भव भय दारुणम नव कंज लोचन कंज मुख कर कंज पद कंजारुणम श्री राम श्री राम श्री राम श्री राम। जयति जगद गुरु गुरुवर की गाओ मिली आरती रसिक वर की गाओ गाओ मिली आरती रसिक वर की गुरुपद नखमणि चंद्रिका प्रकाश जाके उर बसे ताके मोहतम नाश जाके माथ नाथ तब हाथ करे वास ताते होए माया मोह सब ही निराश पावे गति मति रति राधावर की गाओ मिली आरती रसिक वर की गाओ गाओ मिली आरती रसिक वर की अरे मन मूढ़ छाड़ू नारी नर हाथ गुरु बिनु ब्रह्म श्याम होना देंगे साथ कोमल कृपालु बड़े कृपा सिंधुनाथ पाके इन्हें आज तू अनाथ हो सनाथ इन्हीं के अधीन कृपा गिरिधर की गाओ मिली आरती रसिक वर की गाओ गाओ मिली आरती रसिक वर की भक्ति योग रस अवतार अभिराम करे निगमागम समन्वय ललाम श्यामा श्याम नाम रूप लीला गुणधाम बाटी रहे प्रेम निष्काम बिनु दाम हो रही सफल काया नारी नर की गाओ मिली आरती रसिक वर की गाओ गाओ मिली आरती रसिक वर की लली लाल लीला का सलोना सुविलास, छाया दिव्य दृष्टि बिच प्रेम का प्रकाश। वैसा ही विनोद वही मंजु मृदुहास, करे बस बरबस उच्च अट्टहास। झूमी चले चाल वही नटवर की, गाओ मिली आरती रसिक वर की। गाओ मिली आरती रसिक वर की, जयति जगद गुरु गुरुवर की। गाओ मिली आरती रसिक वर की, गाओ गाओ मिली आरती रसिक वर की। बोलिए श्रीमद् सतगुरु सरकार की जय। बोलिए लाडली लाल की जय। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। श्री कृपालु धाम की जय। श्री युगल कुंज की जय। जय जय श्री राधे, जय जय श्री राधे, जय जय श्री राधे। राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे, 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 राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे। बोलिए राधा गोविंद की जय।
बोले लाडली लाल की
जय।
श्रीमद् सद्गुरु सरकार की
जय।
From today, I think I will have to ask you all not to do it live, so people can come and sit and listen to the divine discourses. They have to make some sacrifices in life for bhakti. Bhakti can never be attained without putting our efforts to do bhakti. This is the subject that we will be talking today. But before I proceed any further, to all of you, a very blessed Dhanteras today. The wealth of life is God. And in order to attain the wealth of our life, the wealth of all the wealth, today is one of those most auspicious days when every individual soul should be doing satsang. Not offering this material gold and silver and wealth that Maya Jagat. The wealth of all the wealth is God. And in order to receive this on Dhanteras, we need to offer ourselves with the highest ability of that wealth of bhakti that we can offer from the bottom of our hearts at the divine lotus feet of God. This is the actual meaning of Dhanteras. So once again, my most humble pranams to each one of you dear devotees present here on this most auspicious occasion of Dhanteras. Let us all fold our hands in the prayer mode. Take a good look at the divine form of God and Guru placed on the altar. Capture the form of the Lord in our hearts and minds. And let us all, first of all, doing Roop Dhyan, pay our most humble obeisance at the divine lotus feet of our supreme divine beloved Lord. And then we shall proceed further with the program on Ramayan and Bhakti in Ramayan today. Manatha Shri Jagannatho Madguru Shri Jagadguru Madatma Sarva Bhutatma Kripalur Gurave Namah. Guru Raradhanadishcha Guru Paramadaivatam Guru Partaram Nasti Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Dheyam Sada Paribhavad Namabhishtadoham Tirthaspadam Shiva Virinchinutam Sharanyam Bhrityartiham Pranatapal Bhavabdi Potam Vande Mahapurushate Charanarvindam. Anandamanandakara prasannam Premaswarupam Brajabhavayuktam Yogindramidhyam Bhavarogavaidyam Gurum Kripalum Pranamami Nityam. Yo Brahmanam Vidadhati Puravam Yo Vai Vedanscha Prahinoti Tasmai Tagvam Hadeva Matma Buddhi Prakasham Mumukshurvai Sharanamaham Prapadye. Ananda Kanda Satchidananda Shri Krishna Chandra Charnaravinda Makaranda Milinda Mahanubhav. Blessed souls, eternal and divine. Devotees, let us all chant a small chanting today, being Dhanteras, or the wealth of our life, the dhan of our life, is none other than our supreme divine beloved God, our supreme divine mother, Sri Radharani Kishori Ji. हमारो धन राधा 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 राधा, हमारो धन राधा राधा राधा,
हमारो धन राधा 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 राधा, हमारो धन राधा राधा राधा,
हमारो धन राधा 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 राधा, हमारो धन राधा राधा राधा,
हमारो धन राधा 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 राधा, हमारो धन राधा राधा राधा,
हमारो धन राधा 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 राधा, हमारो धन राधा राधा राधा,
हमारो धन राधा 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 राधा, हमारो धन राधा राधा राधा,
हमारो धन राधा राधा राधा,
हमारो धन राधा राधा राधा,
हमारो धन राधा राधा राधा,
हमारो धन राधा राधा राधा,
हमारो धन राधा 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 राधा, हमारो धन राधा राधा राधा,
हमारो धन राधा 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 राधा, हमारो धन राधा राधा राधा,
हमारो धन राधा 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 राधा, हमारो धन राधा राधा राधा,
हमारो धन राधा 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 राधा, हमारो धन राधा राधा राधा,
हमारो धन राधा राधा राधा,
हमारो धन राधा राधा राधा,
परम धन राधा 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 राधा, हमारो धन राधा राधा राधा,
परम धन राधा 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 राधा, हमारो धन राधा राधा राधा,
परम धन राधा 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 राधा, हमारो धन राधा राधा राधा,
परम धन राधा 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 राधा, हमारो धन राधा राधा राधा,
हमारो धन राधा राधा राधा,
हमारो धन राधा राधा राधा,
हमारो धन राधा राधा राधा,
हमारो धन राधा राधा राधा,
हमारो धन राधा 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 राधा, हमारो धन राधा राधा राधा,
हमारो धन राधा 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 राधा, हमारो धन राधा राधा राधा,
जीवन धन राधा 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 राधा, हमारो धन राधा राधा राधा,
जीवन धन राधा 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 राधा, हमारो धन राधा राधा राधा,
जीवन धन राधा 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 राधा, हमारो धन राधा
धन राधा 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 हमारो धन राधा राधा राधा
हमारो धन राधा राधा राधा
हमारो धन राधा राधा राधा
हमारो धन राधा राधा राधा
हमारो धन राधा राधा राधा
हमारो धन राधा 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 हमारो धन राधा राधा राधा
हमारो धन राधा 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 हमारो धन राधा राधा राधा
हमारो धन राधा कृष्ण राधा कृष्ण राधा हमारो धन राधा कृष्ण राधा कृष्ण राधा
हमारो धन राधा कृष्ण राधा कृष्ण राधा हमारो धन राधा कृष्ण राधा कृष्ण राधा
हमारो धन राधा कृष्ण राधा कृष्ण राधा हमारो धन राधा कृष्ण राधा कृष्ण राधा
हमारो धन राधा कृष्ण राधा कृष्ण राधा हमारो धन राधा कृष्ण राधा कृष्ण राधा
हमारो धन राधा कृष्ण राधा कृष्ण राधा हमारो धन राधा कृष्ण राधा कृष्ण राधा
हमारो धन राधा कृष्ण राधा कृष्ण राधा हमारो धन राधा कृष्ण राधा कृष्ण राधा
हमारो धन सीताराम सीताराम सीता हमारो धन सीताराम सीताराम सीता
हमारो धन सीताराम सीताराम सीता हमारो धन सीताराम सीताराम सीता
हमारो धन सीताराम सीताराम सीता हमारो धन सीताराम सीताराम सीता
हमारो धन सीताराम सीताराम सीता हमारो धन सीताराम सीताराम सीता
हमारो धन सीताराम सीताराम सीता
हमारो धन सीताराम सीताराम सीता
हमारो धन सीताराम सीताराम सीता
हमारो धन सीताराम सीताराम सीता
हमारो धन राधा 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 हमारो धन राधा राधा राधा
हमारो धन राधा 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 हमारो धन राधा राधा राधा
हमारो धन राधा राधा राधा
हमारो धन राधा राधा राधा
हमारो धन राधा राधा राधा
हमारो धन राधा राधा राधा
हमारो धन राधा राधा राधा
हमारो धन राधा राधा राधा
बोलिए हमारो धन रासेश्वरी श्री राधा रानी की
जय
बोलिए श्रीमद सद्गुरु सरकार की
जय
बोलिए सियापति रामचंद्र भगवान की
जय
Dear devotees, let me briefly talk to you all about what this Dhanteras is In very brief, I'll tell what Dhanteras is. Today, being the occasion of Dhanteras, whether it is the occasion of Dhanteras, which is today, or just a day after today, that is on Thursday, people will be celebrating Diwali. Some will be celebrating on Friday as well. So, on Diwali and on Dhanteras, on these occasions, people worship all over the world Lakshmi, Mata Lakshmi. And they bring this supreme goddess, Lakshmi, who is none other than Radha or Sita. God is love. God is one. If you want to term it as 1, 2, 3, 4, it's one. In fact, God is not 1, 2, 3. God is love. And I have again and again told you all. And Jagadguruttam Swami Shri Kripalu Mahaprabhu has very clearly stated all this with the evidences of the Vedas. Raso Vaisa Rasagvam Hevayam Labdvanandi Bhavati Ityadi. Thus, God is all bliss. It is the Shakti aspect of this supreme almighty Godhead personality and the Sarva Shaktiman aspect. The Sarva Shaktiman aspect of the Lord, of God, of Ananda Brahma is known as Ram, is known as Krishna, is known as Narayan. And the Shakti aspect of the supreme Brahma, Antaranga Shakti, internal Shakti, the supreme Shakti is known as Sita Mata, Radha Mata, Durga Mata, all this. Thus, from somewhere in this world, because of the Kali Malagrasit Buddhi, because of Kali Yuga and the intellects being governed by the Kali Yuga power, the power of delusion, confusion, darkness, ignorance, lack of devotion at the lotus feet of God builds this ignorance of the mind stronger and stronger. And even the greatest of the so-called scholars, I'm using the word so-called because the greatest of the scholars and the greatest of the pandits are the greatest of the sages and saints. Pandit is one who upholds the entire Vedic scholarly wisdom. And the one who upholds the entire scholarly wisdom of the Vedas, of the scriptures, of course, has to be God realized. Because every ignorance is gone. Yaha sarvagya sarva vidyasya jnanamayan tapa. He is sarvagya. And on the attainment of the sarvagya Brahm, one becomes also enlightened with the entire infinite wisdom of the Vedas. But when we call people scholars and pandits, just because they can recite some mantras and verses and talk about the Vedic wisdom, it doesn't make them saints or God realized, or in real true sense pandits or scholars. So these kinds of so-called pandits, they started this somewhere, sometime in this time and age of Kali Yuga, the worship of Lakshmi and Kuber. So on this day of Dhanteras, or even on Diwali, people will take out their bundle in which they have put some gold, some silver, and some money, some coins, etc. And for the whole year, they will do a prayer, and then they'll tie the bundle again, and they'll keep it in. And they will write there, Sada Lakshmi Sahai. Sada Kuber Sahai. What does this mean? May Lakshmi always reside here. And may Kuber always reside here. Never leave. And when the Pandits actually say a mantra, it's a beautiful shlok, which Sri Maharaji explains. If you go onto the YouTube and click onto the significance of Dhanteras, you'll find it. It's a short speech. So the Pandits will generally say the shloks, the mantras, whereby then they'll say goodbye to all the Devis and Devatas whom they had called. All of you now go back to your dham. But Lakshmi, Sahai, and Kuber Sahai, you stay back. This Lakshmi, people also call this material mic wealth Lakshmi. If somebody has got lots of wealth, lots of gold, lots of property, lots of luxurious, comfortable, pleasure-giving material things, then they say he's Lakshmi Pati. Lakshmi ki badi kripa hai inke upar. Great kripa on him or her. They are so full of wealth and all the luxuries, etc. The material gains, the material sensual pleasure-giving things, which are absolutely nothing but mere dust, mere earth. That's all it is. But the realization is not there because it has been an ongoing thing from Dada Adam ke Jamana, great-grandsire's days. It's been coming on and it's been practiced. Blindly people are practicing. Thinking if we do not practice this, then we may become beggars. We'll be robbed of all the wealth, luxuries, etc. What strange thinking. Very strange are these people. So Lakshmi ji, you are the goddess of wealth. And Kuber ji, you are the god of wealth. The Devi and the Devta of wealth. They are not even thinking about the supreme goddess Lakshmi, who is the embodiment of bliss and has the wealth of bliss to offer to us. No. On this particular day of Dhanteras, Samudra Manthan took place, the churning of the ocean. And the Supreme Almighty Lord, Sri Krishna, Narayan, took forth the form as a tortoise, Kachua. And that tortoise went inside the deep ocean. And the back of the tortoise was held as the base. On top of the tortoise that is of Sri Krishna in the form of the tortoise was Mandarachal Parvat, the mountain Mandarachal, which was like the pivot. And then Vasuki Nag, that is the greatest serpent, was used to be the rope. So there was the head side and there was the tail side. And then all the devatas were on the tail end, scared of the head side. And all the demons, rakshas, were put on the head side. Because of the greed for Amrit. And the devata and the demons, rakshas, they thought that when the Amrit will come out, whoever will be on the head side, sort of they went into this illusion. You know Bhagwan's game? Yeah, and the play of words. He never tells lies, but the words could mean many things. So the Danavs, the Rakshas, they thought that whoever is on the head side will get the Amrit first, the nectar first. So the churning of the ocean started by pulling this Vasuki Nag. And the tail end is now with the Devatas. The mouth side is now held by the Rakshas, the demons, and the churning continued. And 14 gems came out, Chauda Ratna. Of this was, one Ratna was also Mahalakshmi herself with Varmala. with a garland in her hand to wed whomever she would choose to be her husband. So she had the Varmala and she came out. And also Amrit, poison. Actually poison came out. The very gas of the poison. Kalkoot Jahar. Deadly poison. The sprinkle of that poison, when it went onto some creatures, those creatures became the most venomous, deadly, poisonous creatures, like scorpion, like the deadly, venomous snakes. And it went onto the plants as well, which became very poisonous plant, like the ivy poison. When it touches you, you have itchiness and it gets inflamed everywhere. And then next to ivy poison, God has also planted a plant which is like spinach. So this plant, these leaves, when you rub it, then that poisonous impact or effect on your body will then slowly go away. Otherwise, it is very deadly poisonous. So, the sprinkle of this poison, this was so deadly poison. So, when the gas, the fume of it started coming out, even the poison is not yet out. Everyone, the Devatas and the Rakshas, all of them fled for their lives. They left the Samudra Manthan. And if they leave the Samudra Manthan, then, of course, all that is needed to come out of the Samudra, of the ocean, will not be attained. So immediately Bhagavan Shambhunath Shankarji, he drank the entire poison. He just contained it in the neck and got the name Neelkant. His another name is Neelkant. His kant became blue with that deadly poison. Otherwise, Bhagavan Shankar is not bluish in complexion. He is gore in complexion. Gore means fair, very fair in complexion. And Shama, being Shri Krishna's sister, is Kali, Kali Maya. Parvati ji is Kali, is dark in complexion. Thus, Neelkant Upadhi mil gaya, title of Neelkant he gets. And now the poison is all taken away. Now they were all urged to come back to continue with the churning of the ocean, and then comes the Amrit. And when Amrit comes, then Narayan himself, as the Vishwamohini, takes the Amrit. And knowing he is Natkhat, Leeladhari, crooked are his acts. Not the crookedness that you and I know. It's Bhagavan's Leela crookedness. Very sweet, very beautiful. Thus, the Amrit doesn't go to the Rakshasas, you know. It gets distributed amongst the Devatas. But one Rakshas, he sneaked in and he got it. And then the head was, of course, he was beheaded with the chakra, and Rahu and Ketu came into being. Not one, I'll become two. And I'm eternal now because I drank a drop of that Amrit, says that Rakshas. So anyway, all that Leela took place. And then the continuation of the churning of the ocean as it goes, as it had gone before this Amrit and before all this final thing happened, the Amrit came. Mahalakshmi had come with the garland, as I told you. And also one more, 14 Ratnas of this Mahalakshmi, and one more Ratna also came out, or one more divine personality came out. He is a divine Vaid, divine doctor, Dhanvantri. He is the divine doctor of the Vaid for the Devatas, Dhanvantri, who is able to heal any disease, any sickness. So he is the divine doctor, the divine Vaid, Dhanvantri. So Mahalakshmi, Dhanvantri, and Amrit. So this is the day that Dhanvantri also appeared and Mahalakshmi. When Mahalakshmi, so Dhanvantri was now Devatas and Amrit was also now in the favor of the Devatas. Two in the favor of Devatas. Now Mahalakshmi is left there with the Varmala. Mahalakshmi looks at all the divine personalities assembled there and also all the demons, Rakshas who were assembled there. And thinks to herself, whom do I put this garland and get wedded to? She was looking for two things. Life should be eternal and also the beauty should be there. Along with that beauty, that love, that quality of the loving relational feeling should be in that personality. So Mahalakshmi looks at these great personalities. There were great Maharishis like Markanda Maharishi who were also present there. Looks at them, life is long, life is eternal, but no relational loving sentiments, feelings, udasin, indifferent. They don't care about anybody. They are lost in their samadhis, ecstatic samadhi of their sadhana to their Bhagavan, God. So, no, not these personalities. There were a lot of munis like that, divine personalities like that. And then she looks at this demon. They were also there like Hiranyakashipu in them, who had great powers and they had these loving sentiments, relational feelings that bow in them. However, life, no guarantee when they'll be dead. No long life, no eternal life. No. Then she looks at a personality there, the supreme divine personality, who has got eternal life and also has got all the divine loving sentiments and feelings. If I fall in love with him, he will also in return give love to me. But there can be a lover-beloved relationship here. But beauty is not there. No beauty. The form is very terrifying, very fearful. Got venomous snakes wrapped around all over the body. And is wearing the garland of skulls. Halloween is nothing. And has got the entire troop of, fauj of, party of, army of bhoots and prats, spirits, goblins, ghosts of different swarups, very fearful. So, this is Bhagavan Shankar. No. How can I garland him? No. Then, where is that beauty? Perfect beauty with perfect loving sentiments, love, relational feelings, and longevity, eternity of life. Ultimately and finally, being the eternal consort of Narayan, of Sri Krishna, who is Narayan, she ultimately forcefully puts the garland around the neck of Narayan, of Sri Krishna. Why forcefully? Because Sri Krishna is purposely not looking towards her. Everybody is looking towards Lakshmi, Mahalakshmi, to be garlanded. But Narayan is not looking towards Mahalakshmi. He has his face turned around on the opposite direction. And Mahalakshmi says, whether you look at me or you don't look at me, I am going to put this garland around you. So that is how the eternal consort, Mahalakshmi, weds Narayan, and Narayan then from that day onwards, kept Mahalakshmi on the left side for eternity. That Chanchal Mahalakshmi became Sthir. Mahalakshmi is said to be Chanchal, and this Lakshmi also, the one which you and I, we call this Maya Lakshmi, the wealth, this is also known as Chanchal. It goes through so many hands. You say, it's so dirty, the notes. Why? Because it's gone here, it's gone there. And then what happens some days, we become so wealthy, and other times you say, Are Bapre Bap, the entire world is suffering. Suffering from what? Recession. Diwaliya ho gaya. Karorpati, Kaudipati ho gaya. बड़ी चंचल है ये लक्ष्मी, कब किसके पास चली जाए, कब किसके पास से भाग जाए, तो चंचला लक्ष्मी कहलाती है. वो चंचला लक्ष्मी स्थिर हो गई. She became placed at one place on the left side of Bhagavan, and on the right side is Kaustubh Mani, and in the middle is the footprint, remember, of Maharishi Brahman, Bhrigu. So Lakshmi is always there. And now, look at this strange world and the worldly people. And this deluded worldly people and the priests who have started this. The prayers to Lakshmi and to Kuber on Dhanteras for the multiplication of wealth, for the sthirta of this sansaric wealth, not of that wealth of life. Oh, my divine mother, please, just as you have always taken place and you are residing in the heart of Mahavishnu, come and reside in my heart and never leave me. No, we don't want that goddess. We are praying for this wealth and saying, Sada Lakshmi Sahai, Sada Kuber Sahai. Kuberji, you don't go. Lakshmiji, you don't go. Meaning thereby wealth, you don't go. You increase. And not only this, look at the strangest thing. If you all are present here in the talk, suppose if I say, all the men, you go back home after the program is over. But all the wives, you stay back. You'll say, what's going on here? Chasing me away, separating me from my wife, and asking the wife to stay here? And one man who is not even the husband of this wife, you stay here. Kuber is not the consort of Mahalakshmi. Kuber is simply a servant. Sevak hai, sevak. Mahalakshmi and Mahanarayan are eternal consorts. And without Mahanarayan, without Vishnu, how can Lakshmi ever live or stay? Or remain anywhere? She is eternally one with Mahavishnu. But look, the dull-witted people, the Maik Buddhi, the ignorant fools, only Jagadguru Shri Kripaluji Mahaprabhu brought this out into the world. And with his grace, fearlessly am I speaking this truth in front of you today. Otherwise, no one says this and no one dare says this. This will go against the sansaric norm, the worldly norm. So, worldly norm is, this worldly norm of yours, rule of yours, is so strange and so foolish that you want to keep Lakshmi, but you don't want to keep Narayan. And you want to keep that servant Kuber with Lakshmi. So, understand one thing. Be it Dhanteras, or be it Diwali, this is the day teaching us to be devoted to our divine, beloved Godhead personality. Bhagwan ko pujo. Have bhakti, have love, have devotion in your heart for the Supreme Godhead personality. For that Supreme Lakshmi Narayan. For that Supreme Radha Krishna. For that Supreme Sita Ram. Godhead personality comes in these two forms. As Sri Radha Krishna, as Sri Sita Ram. All Lakshmi, Vishnu, Shankarji, and all Kuber, Adi, and all Devatas, everybody will come running to you. Don't worry about that. In the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan Krishna has very, very openly declared this. That whoever devotes themselves to whichever Deva Swarup, I am the one who grants the fruit. In the end, it is me. I'm not going to go into the detail of my Bhagavad Gita teaching here today because I want to proceed with the Ramayan. But devotion is the crux of this entire festival and entire celebration of these festivals. Bhakti to God. Dhanteras, just like you all sang here, chanted here, Hamaro Dhan, Radha, 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 Radha. The wealth of our life, the wealth of all the wealth is God. Bring God in your heart and rest of all the God's own powers. It is His own Shaktis. They will all come. You don't have to ask separately. Just like Yatha Taror Mula Nishechanena Tripyanti Tat Skanda Pujo Pashakha. When you water the root of the plant, the entire plant gets watered. They're all happy. Every fruit and every flower and every leaf of that tree is happy. You don't have to serve them separately. Bhagavatam Mahapuran. Thus, this is the significance of Dhanteras. Bring devotion of God in your hearts and minds. The same devotion that is being spoken in the Ramayan. You know, Tulsidas ji goes to the degree of talking about this devotion to God and says, if you worship all these various personalities, like on Dhanteras, like as I said, or on Diwali, like worshipping Lakshmi ji and worshipping Kuber ji for this material wealth, etc., then you know what will happen, he says. Vindhyachal Parvat, mountain Vindhyachal, has abundance. There is dense forest of trees, abundance of trees. But there will not be a single twig even, piece of wood or twig even found to burn fire. If there is lack of devotion to God, and you are offering your prayers to all the other Swarupas, then he further says, Tulsidas ji further says, the ocean has abundance of water. Abundance of water itself means ocean. There is abundance of water, but you will not even get few drops of water to even dip your finger. Even that much you won't be able to get. If we disregard the bhakti, the devotion to God. Tulsidas ji very beautifully is explaining and revealing to us all the significance of this bhakti to God. We may abandon the devotion, leave the devotion to God and practice other practices. Then what will happen, as he's explaining here? In this manner, bhakti to the Supreme Almighty Godhead Personality is the only one thing that needs to be practiced by you and I. Then, without even putting any effort to get anything, everything will come automatically falling to us. That is why Bhagavan Sri Ramchandra ji himself, Supreme Almighty, Godhead personality, Prabhu Shri Ramchandra ji himself once gave a pravachan. He gave the speech. And ek baar Raghunath bulaye, Guru Dwijapur Vasi sab aaye. Once Raghunath ji, Bhagwan Sri Ramchandra ji dwelt on this earth for 11,000 years. Once he called for everyone to be assembled. And all the greatest of the Gurus, Acharyas, Guru Vashishta Adi, and also all the Brahmans and all the Nagar Nivasis, the people, they all came and got assembled. Then Bhagavan Ram started speaking to them. This is the only one time the Lord gives his words of wisdom for human welfare on earth. In 11,000 years, only once. He starts by saying, Nahi aniti, nahi kachu prabhutai, sunahu akkarahu, jo tumahi suhai. I'm not going to talk anything which is unlawful, which is illegal. And I'm not showing off my vidvatta here, my fame and my name here. No, I'm not for that. Listen to me, please. Lend your ears and listen to me. And then do what you wish to do. Further, Bhagavan Ram says, Mama sevak priyatam mama soi, mama anusashana manehi joi. Only that individual is my true sevak. The word seva or sevak comes from the word bhakti. Bhakti in Sanskrit means, the root word is bhaj, which means seva. So that individual alone is my true sevak, means my true devotee, means my true bhakta. And priyatam means most dear to me. Priye, priyatar, priyatam, most dear, dearest one. Who? Mama anusashana manehi joi, the one who strictly follows my instructions, my teachings, my agyas. So what is your agya, my Lord? I would like to be that true devotee, that sacha sevak. And I would also like to be the most dear one, so that I can earn your grace, attract your grace, and attain the ultimate goal of my life. We didn't have to ask. The Lord continues to give us the answer. Bade bhag manush tanu pava, sur durlabh sada granthani gava, sadhan dham moksha kari dwara, lekin pai na jehi parlok savara. So paratra dukha pavai, sir dhuni dhuni pachatai, कालहि कर्महि ईश्वरहि मिथ्या दोष लगाई. बड़े भाग मानुष तनु पावा. This human life that you and I we've got, ignorantly we think that mummy, daddy, you are so great. You brought me in this world. What did this mummy and daddy do to bring you on this earth? Tell me. Vishaya Bhog, that's it. They were indulged in sensual pleasures. Their mating didn't bring us. It was only a piece of lump, a flesh that was formed in the mother's womb. It would have gone totally a waste. Total waste. If the Lord would not have planted the seed, which is known as the soul, in that womb, where the sperm and the egg met to form that flesh. So this mummy and this daddy is nothing. Pitahamasya jagato dhata mata pitamaha. Gatir bharta prabhu sakshi nivasa sharan surit prabhava pralay sthanam nidhanam vijam abhyam. 9 chapter 17 then 18 verse of Bhagavad Gita. The Supreme Almighty Lord Krishna himself says this, not Gopeshwari Devi. And the Vedas to the Ramayan, there are so many evidences. So, revealing to us that that soul comes from the Supreme Soul, Godhead Personality, enters into the mother's womb, and here there is the conception of a child. The child is conceived and starts growing. The soul leaves from the womb itself, from that tiny body that was just getting formed. The soul departs. It had only that small time span to be in that womb, enter and be there for few weeks and go, few days and go. The moment the soul departs from the womb of the mother, that fetus is already dead, gone, bekar. No child, spoiled. And then if the soul remains in the mother's womb for good 9 months, and then the baby is just born and the soul just departs from that body. No doctor's bap, father, no scientist father, no person, no body, no Shakti can bring it back. The time's up, go. Sometimes stillborn babies. And here we cry, "Arey, my bacha mein, tumhara kya tha wo?" That moh, attachment due to ignorance, that's all it is with us. So he is the Supreme Mother, the Supreme Father, the supreme relationship of the Atma. That is who we truly are in existence. This body is just formed of Panchatattva, of earth, water, fire, air, and ether. It is absolutely nothing. It's jad, inanimate like this, insentient. The consciousness comes from the soul. And the soul still is in our bodies, and we are still very much living being. Now, our only aim with this body, as long as the soul is in this human form of ours, our only aim is to get back to our divine beloved Father, the divine beloved Mother, the divine beloved friend, the divine beloved eternal companion, the divine beloved Lord, the divine beloved One, the love of our life, the wealth of our life. Through this body alone we can get it, through this human body. There are 8.4 million types of species. Except the human, no one else has this privilege or the right. In this human life, we've got the rationalizing and the discriminating power. Jnanam hi tesham adhiko vishesho, jnanena hina to pashubhis samanaha. Bhartrihari. Once the Jnana Shakti is taken away from us, then we will be equal to every other living being, animals, birds, and beasts. The other thing that we human beings have, which even the Devatas don't have, Devatas are the celestial beings. They are much higher. When it comes to the body form, the celestial body is much, much higher than ours. Much better, far much more superior. And the Jnana Shakti, far much more superior. But they lack one thing, which only the human beings have. And that is the power to perform, to do actions, and reap the fruits of those actions. Actions, even if the celestial beings do, they cannot reap the fruit of it. Their actions are like no actions. Waste of time. Waste of effort. Because they cannot get the results, the fruits. Only human beings are in karma pradhan yoni. Gyan pradhan and karma pradhan. कर्म प्रधान विश्व करी राखा, जो जस करे सो tas pal chakha, says the Ramayan. We are in karma pradhan yoni, and the kinds of actions we will do with the proper use of our intellect. If we do proper actions, we get the proper sweet fruits. If we abuse this power of our intelligence and do wrong deeds and do sinful acts, we'll have to pay for that. Punyena punyalokam, papena papam, ubhabhyameva manusyalokam. All depends. The kind of actions we do, we will get the results, the fruits of it, human beings. So this is the only life in which we can perform the devotional action of devoting ourselves completely, surrendering ourselves completely to our divine beloved God, accepting our absolute relation, all and all, only with the divine beloved Lord. And that is why Bhagavan Ramchandra ji here says, Bade bhag manush tanu pava, sur durlabh sad granthani gava, sadhana dham moksha karidwara. This is the only means through this human form that one can attain liberation, final, ultimate freedom from the cycle of birth and death. And attain perfection, the supreme divine bliss. Lekin, those of us endowed with a human form, if we do not make the effort, well, you all have made the effort. But you know, there are very rare times that we do in the mind think that let's go to the mandir. We come to the mandir, our bodies are in the temple, God knows where your mind is. And you know very well where your mind is. Some people are playing with their phones. They're looking at the messages. Other people are playing with games. Other people are doing something else. Other people are doing something else. The mind is filled with other businesses, other thoughts. So that is not performance of devotional act. Wherever your mind is and whatever your mind is engaged in doing, that is the action you are doing. And know, for one thing, have this faith, even though you cannot experience it, but just believe 100% the words of sages and saints, the words of God and the words of the scriptures, that God is Sarva Antaryami. He is omniscient. And God is Sarva Vyapi, omnipresent. He is present everywhere alike. You can put dhul, dust, in the eyes of everybody, but you cannot even think of putting dust in the eyes of God. If you think of doing that, you'll be totally marred, destroyed. So those of you who have put the effort to come to do satsang, make sure you do satsang. Get your minds associated with the sat, with these narrations that are being talked about, with the philosophy that is being taught to you. Shravanam bhakti, do it. Kirtanam bhakti, do it. And most important, Sumiran, the ones whose glories you are listening to. Make sure you always keep the thought of your divine beloved, that divine beloved in your hearts and minds. This is satsang. Not your body sitting here, your mind somewhere. That is not satsang. Just for name's sake. Everybody can be fooled, but remember, God will not be. He is omnipresent and omniscient. So be very careful. Thus, attaining this human life, if somebody puts real effort into doing satsang, into doing bhakti, devoting the self to the beloved Lord, building this loving relationship with the divine beloved, then of course, that individual soul is going to win the grace of God. Without asking for anything, he'll be granted everything. Depending on your nature, your degree, your type of bhakti, God will grant you also the same. Ye thamam prapadyante tans tataiva bhajamyaham. 4th chapter 11 verse Bhagavad Gita, remember. So, Bhagavan Ram says that it is with greatest fortune that one is endowed with this human form. But if one does not make the proper use of it, Then, so paratra dukha pavai, sira dhuni dhuni pachatai, kalahi karmahi ishwarahi, mithya dosha lagai. When we do not make the proper use of this human form in devoting our lives and surrendering ourselves to God and performing bhakti to God, but doing everything else but devotion to God, then of course we are going to go through a lot of pain, miseries, and sufferings in life. Maybe today you can pride about it and say, oh no, I won't. But every day is not going to be the same. Remember this. Remember this. When that day of pain and miseries will come, then you'll say, oh my Lord, what did I do? I did so much of prayers. God will say, what kind of prayers did you do to me? What are you talking? How many tears did you shed in my love, in my longing, in my bhakti? You just did bhakti for the world, for the Maya world. Thus, when we do not make the proper use of this human life in trying to understand the divine teachings of the scriptures and God and the greatest of the sages and saints, and putting it into practice in the most proper, true manner, then of course we are going to go through a lot of pain and miseries. And when that will happen to us, then what will we say? Oh, time. We will blame time, or we will blame fate, or we will blame God directly because of you. God, what did I do wrong to you? Why do you have your bad eyes on me? Look, the neighbor had 9 kids and now has the 10th one. I had only 1 child and you have destroyed the child, taken the child away as well. Huh? Whom are you blaming? God. We won't look at our own actions, at our own karmas. We are in karma pradhan yoni, remember. Everything we do comes back to us, whether it is of this life or any other life. In fact, whatever karma we are paying for is from the uncountable past lives. This life's action is getting into your store. But every act we are going to pay for. So be very careful and cautious. God has given us rationalizing power, discriminating power. And He has also given us His own words of wisdom. And He has also graced us with the greatest of the sages and saints, like Jagadguruttam Swami Shri Kripalu Mahaprabhu, to explain to us. And then Shri Maharaji sends us preachers with whom you can get this association and understand on this level. And yet, if we do not put in the effort, then don't blame anybody. Blame your own karmas, your own selves. Correct it. Don't blame. Don't just sit and blame, but correct it. There is still time, correct it. So, Bhagavan Ram further on says, once again I'll start off. Bade bhag manusha tanu pava sur durlabh. Even devtaos ko bhi durlabh. Very rare. Even the celestial beings are aspiring for this human form. Even they are not in the karma yoni. And सतग्रंथनि गावा, लेकिन पाई न जही परलोक सवारा, तो सो परत्र दुख पावई, सिर धुनि धुनि पछताई, काल ही कर्म ही ईश्वर ही मिथ्या दोष लगाई. सो तानुधारी हरि भाजा ही न जे नर, होई विषय रत मंद मंद तर, कांच किरीच बदले ते लेही, करते डारी परस मणि देही, पारस मणि दे. Kagbhushan ji tells the same to Garudji Maharaj. Precisely the same. Thus, Naratanu pai vishaya man dehi, to palati sudhate satha vishalehi, says Bhagavan Ram. You have attained Naratanu. And you are getting your minds attached in the material mic things. And you are praying to God even for these Maya achievements, this material wealth, etc. Oh, my dear. Naratanu pai और विषयों में मन और देह को लगाया. Your mind and your body, you have fixed it into the Vishaya. Vishaya means the sensual, material, pleasure-giving things. Oh, poor soul, you have exchanged the amrit that I had given to you, nectar, for poison. Every material pleasure, every material wealth is all only poison, deadly poison. It's going to push us back into the cycle of transmigration. It's never going to lead us towards happiness. It's only going to lead us towards pain and misery, more and more, torture. This is what Bhagwan Ram is saying here. So tanu dhari hari bhajahi na jenar hoi vishayarat mand mandatar. Say, with this body, don't get vishaya, asakt, attached to these material pleasure-giving things. Bhagwan Ram says, yehi tan kar phal vishaya na bhai swargahu swalp ant dukhdai. Yehi tan kar phal vishaya na bhai. Hey bhaiya, oh my brothers, please do not get wrapped in these materialistic, sensual, temporary, perishable, pleasure-giving things. No. Neither with your mind nor with your body. No. Please. And that swarg, forget about the sensual pleasure-giving things of this world, worldly, even of heaven. That is again sattvic world, Maya, but heaven, no. Even up to the Brahmalok, no. Sri Maharaji has given us one chanting. Nit seva mangu shama sham teri na bhukti na hi mukti mangu main. Badhe bhakti निष्काम नीत मेरी ना भुक्ति ना ही मुक्ति मांगू मैं. Bhukti means all the sensual pleasures of the material mic nature right up to the abode of Brahma, Brahmalok tak. Whether this worldly or heavenly or Brahmalok. This is all mic of the tamasic or rajasic or the sattvic kind. This is known as bhukti. And then, above the Maya world, there is also a kind of pleasure or happiness which people may seek for. And that is moksha, which is known as sayujya mukti. Liberation. Not even that, my Lord, I don't want moksha. Then what do I want? I want your seva, which is your bhakti. Bhakti means seva. Like Hanumanji, like Braj Gopis. I am your humble sevak and you are my Swami. I beg for your seva, for your bhakti. I don't want bhukti or mukti, all these pleasures of mukti, moksha, or even of the might nature. So here Bhagavan Ram is saying that, oh, my brothers, don't get yourself wrapped, your bodies and minds, in these sensual pleasure-giving things of the nature of bhukti or even mukti. He is also talking about only pure bhakti. Further on, Bhagavan Ram says, if you do not pay attention to what I am saying, if you do not listen to what I am telling you to do, and with this human form, if you do not aspire to practice bhakti devotion at the lotus feet of God, but you practice devotion and bhakti to the Maya world, to all your material mic relations, for the Maya sensual pleasure-giving things, then I'm sorry. What will happen? Aakar chari laksha chaurasi joni brahmat yah jiva avinashi phirat sada maya kar prera kal karma swabhav gun ghera. 84 lakh yoni, transmigration, cycle of transmigration will then not stop for you. वही birth and death, and pain and tortures and miseries you'll go through. काबाहुक करी करुणा नर देही देत ईश बिनु हेतु सनेही. Further, Bhagavan Ram says, kabhi kabhi, rarely does God, costlessly merciful Lord, out of his costlessly merciful nature showers his mercy upon the individual soul and gives this human form. Very rare it is. When you get it, don't start to think that, क्या है, अकड़ के मत चल, इसकी अहम लेकर मत चल. बहुत मुश्किल से भगवान कभी कभी कृपा करके ये मानव जीवन देते हैं. ये स्वयं भगवान राम कह रहे हैं कि कब हुक करी करुणा नर देही देत ईश बिनु हेतु सनेही. कॉस्टलेसली मर्सीफुल लॉर्ड, बिना कारण कृप स्नेह करने वाले भगवान मानव जीवन देते हैं. गिव्स अस दिस ह्यूमन फॉर्म. Thus, O human individual, says Prabhu Ramchandra ji, नर तनुभव बारिधि कहाँ बेरो और सन्मुख मरुत अनुग्रह मेरो और कर्णधार सदगुरु दृढ़ नावा दुर्लभ साज सुलभ करि पावा. जो न तरे भव सागर नर समाज अस पाई तो सो कृत निंदक मंदमति आत्महानि गति जाई. Naratanu, your human body, oh my dear souls, is like that ship which will lead you across the vast ocean of Maya. The infinite ocean of Maya cannot be crossed by any other means apart from the human body. This is the only form. Okay? Not even the celestial form, no. Not even the demon form, no. Not any other animal, bird, beast form, no. 84 lakh, 8.4 million types of species, only human form. Naratanu. Bhava baridhi kaha bero. Aur sanmukha maruta anugraha mero. And my special grace and favor is upon every individual soul. Whether that individual souls, that means whether that individual soul's mind is filled with negativity and evilness towards God or filled with bhakti and love towards God. God does not make any difference when it comes to his grace. It's alike upon everybody, be it Ravan or be it Hanuman. His grace is upon each and every individual, upon us as well. So don't sit and say that Didiji, when God will grace me, if there is grace, then I'll come tomorrow. No, God's grace is already there. Now, whether you are going to make proper use of it or abuse it, that's up to you. He's given you the rationalizing power. What do you set priority as? It's up to you. God is not setting that priority for you. You are the one who is setting the priority. Whether it's the Maya thing, which is most important for you, or it is your devotion to God and the opportunities that are thrown at your feet sometimes like this for satsang. वो तो आप अपने सद्बुद्धि से डिसाइड कीजिए, लेकिन कृपा उनका बिल्कुल सबके ऊपर बराबर है. उनकी कृपा हो तब हम भक्ति करें, ऐसा बात कभी मत करना भूल करके. भगवान यहां पे स्वयं कहते हैं, भगवान रामचंद्र जी, my grace is like that favorable wind blowing the ship towards its destination. So I'm already gracing you and moving you towards me, says God. I'm trying my best to get you to me. But then you've got the powerful tool, which is the most powerful tool you've got. And the key to that tool is not in my hands, says God. It is in your hands. And that is your mind. And when I say the mind, understand, it's man, buddhi, chit, ahankar, your mind and intellect. So final decision is yours, my child, says the Lord. But my favorable wind is trying to push this ship towards the destination, which is towards me. नर तनु भाव बारिधि कहां बेरो. और सन्मुख means मेरे तरफ आने के लिए. Bahirmukh means opposite. Sanmukh means towards God. Sanmukha Maruta. Marut means wind. Anugraha Mero. Anugraha means kripa, grace. My grace is like that favorable, stormy, strong wind. Favorable wind blowing you towards me. And it is upon each one of you. Karnadhar Sadguru Dinhanava. And with my grace, I always send forth on earth from time and time again the greatest of the captain, who are the Sadgurus, the God-realized saints, like we have today, to lead us, Jagat Guru Shri Kripalu Mahaprabhu. These are Adhyatmic Gurus. We don't need them physically to be present here. Saints who are Adhyatmic Gurus like Sri Maharaj Ji will always lead us as long as internally we accept this divine personality as our Sadguru and seek for guidance. The guidance will come. And he will be the Karnadhar, the Kevat. Karnadhar means Kevat, means the pilot, the captain, to take the ship across the vast ocean. It's a must. We need a Sadguru. Because without that, koi chara nahi. We can't, the ship cannot move across the turmoils and the storms and the tidal waves and the hurricanes and the tsunamis of life. There'll be lots of ups and downs. That Sadguru can lead us through everything. So Bhagavan Ram here says that the three grace I have bestowed upon you. You did not have to work towards it. Now the only thing is, my child, make a move to practice this bhakti. If you wish for happiness in this world and world after, above, then you must do one thing. Jo iha sukh, apavarg sukh chahu. So, if you want happiness here and in the worlds above and afterlife also, then bhakti, sulabh sukhad marag yaha bhai, sulabh sukhad marag yaha bhai, bhakti mori purana shruti gai. Sulabh means very easily available. Very easily can be put into practice. Sukhad means filled with perfect bliss, happiness. Is this path, oh my brothers? Sulabha Sukhad, this path, Maragya Bhai. Bhakti Mori, my devotion, my bhakti, Purana Shruti Gai. All the Puranas and all the scriptures are singing about. Further, Bhagavan Ram says, this bhakti is swatantra. Bhakti swatantra sakala sukha khani, lekin binu satsang na pavahi prani, apunya punja binu milahi na santa, satsangati sansriti kar anta. This bhakti is completely independent. It does not need the practice of karma, jnana, yoga, japa, tapa, brata, nothing. Remember, I told you all yesterday. Jap tap niyama yoga nij dharma shruti sambhava nana shubha karma jnana daya dam tirath majjan jahan lagi dharma kahe shruti sajjan agam nigam purana aneka padhe sune kar phal prabhu eka tava pad pankaj प्रीति निरंतर सब साधन कर यह फल सुंदर. Love at your divine lotus feet. That's all. Everything leads to jap tap niyam brat, whatever it is. So bhakti is swatantra, independent, fully independent, and it is endowed with the complete perfect bliss. Lekin without satsang, it is absolutely unattainable. How can we attain this devotion, which is perfectly blissful? Only via satsang. But punya punja binu milahi na santa, satsangati sansriti kar anta. Without our punyas, our devotional merits, getting fructified, we cannot have even the mind to move towards a saint. We will not be inspired to be in satsang. We won't. It is your devotional, collective devotional sanskars, karmas, merits, punyas, which brings one to satsang and makes one, enables one to be in association with the supreme God-realized personalities, the saints. So Bhagwan Ram continues with this talk and says that devotion, bhakti, at the divine lotus feet of the saints now is of utmost importance. But what is the difference between a saint and a non-saintly person? Lakshmanji Maharaj had asked this question to Prabhu Ram, and Bhagwan Ram has given the answer. Kak Bhushandi again, in answer to this question asked by Garudji, gives the answer. In the Ramayan, all over we have the answers to this as well. Once we know the saintly qualities and who a saint is, then association with this saint will bring devotion in our hearts for the Lord. How is it all possible? What is it all about? Not tonight. Tomorrow I'll continue with this talk. बोलिए सियापति रामचंद्र भगवान की
जय।
बोलिए श्रीमद सद्गुरु सरकार की
जय।
जय जय श्री राधे, जय जय श्री राधे, जय जय श्री राधे।
Radhe Radhe. Radhe Radhe to Didiji and my fellow devotees. Thank you, Didiji, for indulging us and giving us this opportunity to deepen and strengthen our love towards Prabhu Sri Ramchandraji. As Didiji mentioned earlier in her lecture today, the dhan of our life, the wealth of all wealth, is bhakti towards God and Guru. And bhakti cannot be attained without any effort. So let's all keep God and Guru in our heart and show an effort by coming here tomorrow at 7 p.m. as Didiji will disclose more knowledge on